Hello, I'm Rex Ray and welcome to another episode on Ray Report. The Pan-African agenda is on course and now former president of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Ernest Bai Koroma, has been sharing some insights about the conversations surrounding the African Cultural Heritage Restitution agenda. He's in Accra, Ghana, and here are excerpts of his remarks.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the further you look back into the past, the more into the future you can see. First, it was slavery, then colonialism, now new colonialism, all with their devastating and far-reaching ramifications on the political, economic, and social and cultural development of our beloved continent. The Accra meeting is taking place in an era of vigorous demands for a new and fairer relationship between Africa and the West. African youths across the continent are calling for an end to all forms of colonial legacies, power abuse, and neglect of Africa's contribution to the advancement of humanity. The African Union has recently adopted a common African position on restitution of heritage resources. It is therefore a great pleasure to be here on behalf of the West African Elders Forum to speak at the opening of this all-important global conference on the restitution of the African cultural heritage. The venue, the W.E.B. Du Bois Center in Accra, and Ghana, where prosperous African empires with great culture and tradition were led, could not have been more deliberate and fitting. Also, owing to its historical role in the struggle for independence and the advent of Pan-Africanism, Ghana is indeed a relevant host for this important meeting. This is a worthy cause, which all Africans, all people of African descent, and all people of good conscience must be associated with, support, and defend. And I believe that this meeting will galvanize the Pan-African spirit and light the flames of hope. It should also bring forward recommendations for a new relationship between the continent and the West based on respect for diversity, dignity, and common destiny. As we embark on this journey, for a moment, imagine investing your energy, time, your knowledge, and other material resources in building a home, a business, or a way of life, or anything that you believe will positively impact yours and the lives of your family or community. The outcome of short hard work should stand as a memory of who you are, your thought processes, what you are capable of doing, You look at the outcome as a source of pride, the knowledge by which you hope to inspire yours and future generations. And then suddenly, someone from a foreign land materializes with brute force or whatever means and took possession of such a treasure. Not only that you have been deprived of enjoying your hard work, ingenuity, your progeny as well would have been denied the opportunity to learn from their ancestors. Historical, anthropological, and scientific evidence show that Africans were the first human beings on this planet, that Africans developed the first documented cultures, and that civilization that constitutes the greatness within the people. Much of this evidence has been obliterated, degraded, or taken away to other nations and are being proudly displayed in homes, private and public museums. The literature says that 90% of Africa's cultural heritage is believed to be located in Europe. It is not just unfair, it is a grave injustice. It's like slavery and all other forms of exploitation of Africa. I read a bizarre argument that the treasures taken from Africa serve as cultural ambassadors when displayed internationally. Well, as a former president, I know that ambassadors are usually appointed by their government and they are deployed to their designated stations after going through the approval process, be it Parliament or the Senate. It follows, therefore, that these cultural ambassadors from colonial Africa did not follow due process. Even if they did, the host countries can always recall them. The fact is indisputable that the rightful place for Africa's cultural heritage is not outside their ancestral homes. So be they ambassadors or prisoners of war, Africa is saying we want to preserve our heritage here in Africa. This is not too much of an ask, especially with the admission that this cultural injustice is not in dispute. I believe the restitution of Africa's cultural heritage is a matter of honor and should be seen as an opportunity for those who found themselves in possession of things that do not belong to them to return them to their rightful owners. And here is why. Cultural heritage is central to protecting our sense of who we are. It gives us irrefutable connection to the past, to certain social values, beliefs, customs, and traditions that allows us to identify ourselves with others and deepen our sense of unity, belonging, and national pride. This is critical because our liberation and development to be effective and sustainable it should be guided by our history. I note that the Open Societies Initiative for Restitution of African Heritage is a 2-year initiative that strives to reinforce the global demand for justice and equity by communities who have historically been deprived of their heritage. Through grant making, advocacy, and public programming, we believe that the restitution movement, empowered by the African Union, ECOWAS, civil society, and creative communities, that it will be vibrant and strengthened by greater collaboration, production of knowledge, and will effectively facilitate the return of looted African heritage and resources. The West African Elders Forum is a key partner of Open Society Foundation in promoting peace, solidarity, and development across Africa. The West African Elders Forum will be a strategic partner for advocacy on the restitution of the African heritage in line with the African Union's common position on restitution. We believe that there is a need to engage with those who hold the illicitly acquired and/or stolen heritage resources with a view of restituting them to their natural and original environment. There should be a common framework for intergovernmental action and cooperation on the practicalities of the restitution and management of the illegally acquired and stolen heritage resources. To achieve this, we should commit to establishing dedicated national, regional, international, and institutional frameworks for restitution initiatives. Promote heritage-driven incentive-based development policies and strategies. Strengthen capacities of law enforcement agencies through specialized training on the protection of heritage resources against illicit trafficking. Strengthen protection mechanism of heritage resources in conflict zones through training in emergency response, preparation of emergency plans, and their implementation. We should also galvanize youth-led technology institutions to evolve ways of collecting archives and creating claims. Collaborate with the diaspora heritage institutions, advocacy groups, and communities to identify illicitly acquired and/or stolen heritage resources. Create restitution-centered popular culture campaigns to mobilize support and ensure sustainability amongst the youth and the diaspora. In this regard, on behalf of the West African Elders Forum, please allow me to thank the organizers of this landmark conference here in Ghana, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana, with the cooperation of the Open Society Foundation Global Initiative for the Restitution of African Heritage, and all others collaborating in this noble African cause. Special thanks to our host and distinguished keynote speaker, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for hosting us, and for sparing some moments out of this very busy schedule to be here with us. His presence underscores the importance Africa attaches to this call. It is my great hope that the global conference will rejuvenate great interest among African governments and African people all over the world in reinforcing the call for the reclamation of the rich cultural heritage that truly belongs to our continent. I believe the time to expedite the return of our cultural artifacts is now, not later. The moment should be seized to show true contrition and goodwill to do what is right and just. Africans' artworks in public collections originating from illicit or otherwise disputed acquisitions cannot be inalienable property of any other state. To voluntarily return what was wrongfully acquired to its rightful owner should not necessitate cajolery or protracted negotiations. With this, I want to once more welcome all of you and to wish all of you a very fruitful and deliberate and successful discussions. Africa is anxiously waiting there for the outcome of this all-important meeting. Thank you very much.
So that was former President of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Ernest Bai Koroma, making those remarks there. What do you make of this? Let's get interactive in the comment section. I'm Rick Shrey, and this is Ray Report. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. Peace out.